Hello. In this module, I'm going to provide you with an overview of the fiscal, financial and voluntary approaches to promote renewable electricity. By the end of this module, you should be able to do at least three things. First, understand the purpose of these non-regulatory instruments. Second, understand the range of fiscal and financial instruments to promote renewable electricity. And finally, to understand the role of voluntary approaches to empower consumers and businesses to take pro-renewables choices. First up, what is the purpose of these approaches? Alongside regulatory and pricing policies, these non-regulatory instruments can promote renewable electricity. Let's start with fiscal and financial incentives. These include tax incentives, grants, loans and guarantees, and address issues such as high finance and upfront capital costs. Tax reductions, such as sales, energy, value-added tax, reduce the cost of renewable energy systems and increase their affordability and profitability. Tax reductions are used in over 100 countries and are sometimes the only instrument of choice for incentivizing renewables. An issue is that tax reduction alone does not incentivize the efficient production of renewable electricity. Performance-based incentives, such as production tax credits, can be used to incentivize efficient production. Many renewable electricity technologies, including solar and wind power, have high upfront capital costs and low operating costs. Capital subsidies, such as grants and loans, aim to level the playing field compared with other technologies by reducing these capital costs. These subsidies are used in the early stages of deployment to get the market going and are replaced by other mechanisms later on. Moving away from the money, voluntary programs are used in support of other policies to empower consumers and businesses to make informed choices about power consumption and generation. These voluntary approaches include informational, community and corporate programs. Informational programs lay the foundations for other mechanisms in support of renewable electricity. Typically, they involve informational and educational campaigns covering issues such as local economic development, greenhouse gas emission reduction, air quality improvement, and health. Building on informational programs, community-based programs focus on empowering electricity consumers to either choose to consume renewable electricity or even invest directly in community energy projects. Community choice aggregation is an example of the former, where communities are supported to buy renewable electricity as a group. Communities can also invest directly in renewable electricity projects, sometimes owning them outright, but often in a profit-sharing scheme with a third party like a utility company. Corporate programs include voluntary renewable electricity targets and approaches to green supply chains. Corporate social responsibility, driven by public opinion, is an important driver for businesses committing to green energy. For example, more than 100 companies have signed up to 100% renewables targets through the RE100 initiative. Perhaps a more important driver for business is the increasing cost competitiveness of renewable electricity, leading companies to invest directly in renewables as a protection against high electricity prices. You can find more detail and case studies on all of this in the supplementary information. You should consider this in the context of supply chain issues and regulatory and pricing policies. A pro-renewables environment is a mix of all of these.